Dear friends, English literature, Elizabethan and Jacobean drama, Balpony by Ben Jonson, short questions with answers. Short questions 1 to 9. Question 1. What is comedy of humors? Answer. The term humor is derived from medieval psychology. According to the medieval belief, the four basic fluids of the body, blood, phlegm, choler, yellow bile, melancholy, black bile, directly affect a person's physical condition, and these fluids are called humors. When the humors are in a balanced state, the person will remain in a good temper. If any of these humors gets imbalanced, the person also becomes physically or psychologically abnormal. For example, dominance of blood makes human sanguine, happy, generous. Phlegm makes human phlegmatic, cowardly, pale. Choler makes choleric, hot-tempered, impatient, vindictive. Black bile makes a person pensive, sentimental, melancholic. Question 2. Examine Balpony as a comedy of humors. Answer. The conception of the humor of the medieval age has a great impact on Ben Jonson's Balpony, especially on the character development. Actually, Balpony is, to many extents, based upon the humor theory. In the play Balpony, Mosca, Carvino, and Corbicio, Walter, Sir Politic Woodbey, and his wife, all of them do have imbalance in their characters, and this imbalance make the play a comedy. Since these abnormal characters have paved the way for making the plot satiric and amusing. Each character is peculiar and singular in his or her own way. Here, Jonson shows that the mental imbalance is more dangerous than physical imbalance, as he shows that the characters Nano, Castron, and Rugano, being physically abnormal, are better creatures than the earlier ones. A comedy of humors focuses on characters, each character representing a type of personality. The characters in Balpony are stereotypes. All of the characters are imbalanced as well, so their humors are out of balance and they does act in comical ways. Thus, Balpony is a comedy of humors. Question 3. How does Balpony worship his gold? Answer. At the very beginning of the play, Balpony worships gold as his god. He regards gold as the best of things. The place where he keeps his gold is a shrine to him, and the gold to him is the saint. He addresses it as the son of the sun and says that the sun gold is brighter than the father, that is sun. Balpony is happier to see his gold than the earth is to see the spring sun at the end of the winter. He insists that the age of gold must have been the greatest in history to be so named. Gold, he says, brings more happiness than friends or family. He has the looks of Venus, the love of 20,000 cupids. It cannot speak or act for itself, but gold makes the man speak and act on its behalf. In the company of gold, hell can be transformed into heaven. To Balpony, gold is virtue, fame, honor, and every other desirable things. One who possesses gold becomes noble, brave, honest, wise, and whatnot. Question 4. How does Balpony commit mortal sin by worshipping his gold? Answer. Balpony's worshipping of gold sets the moral tone of the play. It suggests that Balpony is utterly consumed by greed. Besides greed, he moves on to blasphemy, calling his gold a saint. By regarding gold as a saint, Balpony violates the first of the 10 commandments, thou shalt worship no gods before me. Again, he worships his gold, comparing it to the Roman goddess Venus. Balpony even goes so far as to call gold the dumb god that gives to all men tongues. But his religious allusions are not only monotheistic but also polytheistic. In order to describe the brightness of his gold, Balpony makes reference to the first day of creation when he says that gold makes man do all things. He is essentially ascribing the divine quality of omnipotence to his gold. Thus, Balponi commits the mortal sin of pride by offering such great worship to his gold. Question 5. How did Balponi earn his wealth? Answer. Balponi is very cunning. He despises the ordinary method of earning money. He does not practice any profession to earn money. He does not do any risk business. He does not plow the land as farmers do to earn their livelihood. He does not rear cattle for meat. He also has no factories of iron or oil or corn, nor does he has mills where workers are exploited. He does not have ships which faces the dangers of sea waves. He does not keep money in banks on interest. He even does not lend money privately. He has earned his wealth in an extraordinary way. That is, he pretends to be sick and dying and extracts money from the people who seek to inherit him after his death. Question 6. Who are the three deformed creatures in Balponi and what do they signify? Answer. Nano, Castron, and Androgyno are the three deformed creatures in Balponi. They are the members of Balponi's house. Nano is a dwarf, Castron is a eunuch, and Androgyno is a hermaphrodite. They are the three servants whom Balponi keeps them for entertainment. They are also allegedly Balponi's illegitimate children. They are in the play to supply the comic. They do not contribute to the main plot in any significant way. The first interlude, where the three bring in the transmigration theory of Pythagoras, smacks of the Renaissance love for things ancient in Roman Greece. Towards the end, we find the deformed trio becoming part of the plot. In the passive way, with the existence of the trio helps in the portrayal of Balponi. The presence of the three deformed persons in the Balponi home suggests the deformed nature of the master of the house. They bring to the notice the defective, fallacious, and unnatural life Balponi leads. Mosca, the evil genius, is the one who directs them, and Balponi is found appreciating their joint work, the interlude. All this suggests that the deformed three have some allegorical significance in the play. Question 7. Who were Balponi's clients? Answer. Balponi, the protagonist of the play, is a very cunning fox. He has no wife, parent, child, or friend to whom he can give his wealth. His hair will be of his own making. For this reason, people treat him with great respect, and every day new clients are attracted to his house, including men and women of every class and age. In the quoted lines, Balponi refers to his four clients. Baltor is the first client. His name means vulture. He is a lawyer and has a great professional skill. He wants to become Balponi's heir. For this purpose, he presents him with a large gold plate with his name and arms engraved on it. Corbichu is the raven. Corbichu the raven is the oldest form of the legacy hunter. He is almost deaf and has a weak eyesight. To become Balponi's heir, he is ready to disinherit his own innocent son, Bonario. He brings his own innocent son, Bonario. He brings a sleep-inducing drug for Balponi and presents him with a bag full of gold coins. Corbino is the third client. He brings a pearl for Balponi. His greatest treasure is his beautiful wife, Celia. To inherit Balponi's wealth, he compels his wife to sleep with Balponi. Lady Woodby is Balponi's another client. She is very talkative and teases Balponi by her ceaseless talking. She often visits Balponi and offers him a toy or a cap of her own making. Question 8. Why, according to Mosca, is Baltor appointed as the sole heir of Balponi? Answer. Mosca tells Baltor that the latter is appointed as the sole heir to the wealth of Balponi. Baltor wants to know why Balponi has a special liking for his advocate. Bolter. Mosca says that Volpone has always admired the noble profession of the lawyers because they can speak in favor of any case, even on the both sides of the same question. They are very quick-witted and they can find a law to support them whether they are speaking for or against the case. They can make a case very complicated and also can solve the complexity. They can even offer equivocal advice. They can give advice for the case or against it just to get the money. Mosca adds that Volpone knows very well that lawyers will always flourish because of their humility. Therefore, Volpone, thinks that it is best on his part to have an heir who is wise and serious and who will not speak unless a fee is paid to him. Question 9. Describe the mountebank scene. Answer. In order to see Corbinus's wife, Celia, Volpone disguises himself as a mountebank doctor. Volpone appears on the scene disguised as the great Italian juggler Scoto of Mantua, with Nano as his legi and a lot of people crowded around. Upon his platform, Volpone clears the name of Scoto and advertises his well, Oglio del Scoto, as panacea. Then he provides a list of supposedly mysterious ingredients and elaborates the method of preparation. Next, he declares that since the real price of his oil would be beyond the capacity of the common people, he would charge only 8 crowns for a bottle. Like a typical quack, he reduces the price bit by bit. Finally, he charges only 6 pence. He also declares for the first buyer a special concession, a free remembrance. At this point, Celia drops her handkerchief from the window to become the first buyer. Volpone catches it and kisses it and offers her the oil and a powder that will keep her perpetually young. The powder that was given by Apollo to Venus. At this moment, Corbino rushes him and gives him a good beating. At this point, I repeat it, at this point, Corbino rushes him and gives him a good beating and breaks up the mountebank demonstration. Thank you, friends, for watching.